What's up?
What's up, bud?
You recovered?
Ah, man, it's tough. I was pretty tired all day, but I slept crazy deep last night, though, man. I got home. I was probably in bed by 10 o'clock, dude. Didn't get up until
Yeah.
about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. I was out.
Two full weekends back to back, wasn't it?
I mean, as much as I love playing cornhole, I'm almost glad I don't have nothing going on this weekend.
Yeah.
But then again, I
Sh-
had two successful weekends, so that really just drives me to want to play so much more.
Yeah.
It really did, man. It's a thing of it's like you golf a lot, and it's that you make that shot that keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
So winning the blind draw this weekend with Kim, and then getting second uh in the swap last weekend with Lucian, like it's just and then getting second this weekend, with women the doubles, man, it just makes you want to come back for more.
Oh. We're not got long of a wait.
Nah,
It's still too long when you've had back to back weekends, though.
I know, and heck, it was only supposed to be another couple of weeks for me,
Yeah.
but then I had to change my schedule around a bit. So, but we got a month.
You'll have your club nights practice anyway. Get ready for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's a big one coming up. Q4. A
Big
lot on the
time.
line for some of us, like myself included. I'm just on the cusp of that last automatic spotter for Team GB. So I need a good showing to get that spot or give myself a good chance of being the wild card pick. So I best do something.
Yeah, yeah. But man, as good of friends we are, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Some of the guys played really well this weekend, and it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real tough.
I know what I can do when I put my mind to it and I don't lose my shit. So I just need to get my head on straight and see what happens.
That's
And not
right.
be a little bitch and like I was on Sunday. Not entering because of feeling too sensitive.
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes it
no.
happens. There's,
I,
if you're not
I,
if you're not
I,
feeling it, there's no reason to enter if you're not feeling it and you're not gonna throw well,
yeah,
because then it's just gonna piss you off more and make you not want to play. And
yeah. And it would have been fair to any opponent like me not being able to give them a good game and that they played. I, wa- I wasn't feeling it. Like woke up feeling far too rough at like 3:30 and just couldn't get back to bed as well. Just knew Sunday would be a write-off, so just go along and cheer you guys all on.
yeah, and we appreciate that. We still had a good day.
Yeah, that we did.
I mean, I maintained the trophy.
Not for lack of me being a dickhead.
Well,
But just a nice, simple push was all I needed. Didn't even need to put the bag in my hand in the hole, just nudge that one in front of the hole that was half in. But no, I wanted the airmail. I wanted to win it in style.
yeah.
Now I've got to wait.
I mean, it's the equivalent of drive for show, putt for dough, man.
Yeah.
All right, should we get out
But
on in?
yeah, I mean, at least it was our closest game yet, to be fair. So
Yeah, it was close. To be fair, I mean, I was pretty drunk and was struggling to get the back on the board myself. So I
yeah,
think I think if both of us are at top notch, it's still a close game, but probably a
yeah,
prettier game than what it was.
yeah. But both throwing bags we've never thrown before on a brand new board.
Yeah. Well,
He's
I mean,
still
to
not
be fair, I
100.
had thrown those bags last weekend, but it's only like my second time to throw them. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. Right. Shall we get into something then? We got two things for this weekend.
Yeah, let's go ahead and knock the ACL stuff out first, and then we'll get on to our tournament.
Yeah. So we'll start off with Friday then. Oh, Juniors, Women's, and Seniors Day.
Yeah.
So
Let's start off with juniors, man. We'll go with the kids.
yeah. So the best hair in Cornwall, Tony Forbes.
Tony Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good
Took
match
that.
against Steven Jackson, though.
Yeah.
Jackson Gore, man, that kid's throwing real well. But unfortunately, this weekend just wasn't his weekend.
No, I mean, he was my pick with the prop toss. Jackson was. I thought he'd come back and get one, but
I
he
think I
couldn't
picked him.
he couldn't pull off the double dip, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure I picked him as well, didn't I?
Either him or Zach Aitken. I can't remember which off the top of my head.
Hold on, let me tell you. No, no, no. I did pick Zach Aiken. I apologize. Yeah, I did. I thought it was a toss up between him and Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the women's after that.
Well, junior doubles.
Oh, we'll do singles, doubles like that. Yeah, no worries.
Ethan Farias and Gabe Clausen beating Jackson Gore and Jacob Gore, the Gore brothers. So Jackson had kind of a rough weekend and not been able to close it out and win a title. But I mean, we used to talk about the juniors field a little differently, but now you got to talk about it of how stacked it is all the time. Yeah. Even getting second place in a juniors field is pretty daggum good right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Then get on to the Wiggins.
Yeah, Sarah Cassidy avoiding the double dip from Cheyenne in the Queen Seat rematch.
I was glad to see Sarah's getting back on form because a couple years ago, man, she was
the woman.
Yeah,
it was her, and then Cheyenne overtaking her, and it's been Cheyenne. So yeah, it's good to see. And our picks had good showings, so I picked Miranda for that, and she come third, and you picked Sam Finley, and she got fourth. So
yeah, I just thought coming off the last Open, Sam had done so well. Like, you go into it with that momentum and that adrenaline. But, it just wasn't meant to be. Sarah Cassidy said, "Not today, ladies. Not today."
Yeah, and she meant it, not today, because the doubles, her and Elizabeth Tennyson, took down Cheyenne and Gina Ramirez, who for most part of the season have been the team in women's doubles. So yeah, Sarah Cassidy sweeping the weekend.
Yeah, no, good for her, man. I picked Cheyenne and Gina to win, of course.
I did happen to pick Sarah and Elizabeth. It was the only prop toss I did get right all weekend on that one.
No, out of the three choices we had for the prop toss, I literally the women's doubles was probably the toughest for me to pick.
Yeah.
But I went with Cheyenne and Gina because of how well they've done all season.
Yeah. Well, I picked Sarah and Elizabeth based on Elizabeth, like from the previous Open, just how well she threw.
Sure.
Through them, so I thought she's in a bit of form, and like watching Sarah Cassidy's like Instagram, seeing how well she's throwing, is like I just fancy them to do it this weekend. So.
For sure, man.
Yeah. And then the seniors.
Steve Schroeder sweeping the weekend again.
Yeah.
Now I don't know much about the guy he played in the singles, Mike Henry, but if he made it there to a pretty stacked seniors field, he's probably pretty daggum good too.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see that finals match, so I can't talk too much on it. But I've watched Steve Schroeder throw a few times over the season, watching the live broadcast, and man, the dude can throw. He just can outright throw.
Yeah, I think it's time to admit that as much as I always want to pick Damon Dennis, just because he's one of my favourite players. Like, I've got to start picking in my head because Steve Schroeder is the man of the seniors division. He's the best senior there is.
But
I think
I
he's
picked
proven it.
Damon Dennis too, so
Yeah. I mean, say this, come open 11, I'll probably still pick Damon Dennis. I just can't stop it myself from doing it. But I think Steve Schroeder is definitely the number one senior in the world right now. No argument, really.
yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. And then of course in doubles, Steve Schroeder and uh Dan beat Frank and Damon Dennis.
Yeah.
You know, Frank Modlin and Damon Dennis in the finals. Um, again, obviously we were traveling on Friday, so I didn't get to watch a ton of it. We watched a little bit.
Yeah.
And,
I think we were too busy knocking back the beers and just all having a laugh in the Airbnb, weren't we?
I mean, we had it on in the background, but I don't think anybody was paying too much attention.
No.
So my apologies out there to our listeners. Sorry, guys.
Then Saturday, doubles day.
Yeah.
So bracket A, Tony Smith and Mark Richards beating Spencer Fabinar and Ethan Ferrius. And then Jamie Graham and Eric Davis beat Hayden Gonzalez and Gabe Clausen to set up the final. That Mark Richards extending his lead at the
Yeah.
top. Most titles. Him and Tony
And to
got
be
the
fair,
W.
I assumed that match would be super close, and it really wasn't all that close, man.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. Tony and Mark were just on it, man.
Yeah.
But you can't ever count out Jamie and Eric Davis.
No. Well, I believe they're the reigning Spencer McKenzie's champs, aren't they?
They are. And
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, though, if Eric would have won, it would have been the third time he won this season with 3 different partners.
Yeah.
Because he won, what was it, open number 8? Was it 8 or 9? 8 that he won with Mark Richards.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Mark, that's his third, fourth win this year to put him now 2 ahead of Trey Birchfield.
Yeah.
So he's sitting at 23 titles. He wins too many more, man. I think it's going to be real hard for people to catch up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's in good form at the minute, with the signatures fast approaching. So,
but what do we know about it? Signatures, it's a different beast, and people come to play, man. I am super excited for signature events to start.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, and like you say, a different beast. Like, we are seeing all these kids getting up there in the opens, but when it gets to that signatures, then final falls, that's TV.
Yeah.
And that could make a big difference. Like, so can these kids handle it being on the big screen then? So
it's a tough,
I mean,
man.
hopefully they will.
I
But
get
it'll
it.
be interesting to see.
They're all better than us, and I get that. But I mean, even me, I go around the whole weekend playing, drinking beers, not really caring. I like to go play. I've always wanted to win, but man, as soon as I get on that broadcast court, it seems like I forget how to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you think like not having that experience and stuff, these kids, man, they might struggle. You're right. They may struggle getting on the TV court, and because it's different than just a live broadcast that someone's watching on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking CBS, ESPN, like big time TV broadcasts.
And it's everything else
So
around that TV stage as well.
yeah,
All the lighting and that, everything. It
because
changes
right
the
now you think about
conditions.
it on an open for the singles on a Sunday. By the time they get to the finals, there's like maybe 50 people left in that building.
Yeah.
But when they do the singles on that, on the broadcast, man, the stands are packed.
Yeah.
They're packed, man. So I think it does change it a lot. It does, because it's right on top of you. And so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we know they can play, so they may prove us all wrong, and
Yeah, and
they may prove
hopefully they
everybody
will.
wrong and go, we don't care about that, man.
Yeah,
So we'll see how it plays out.
yeah,
But then you had singles yesterday,
yeah,
and old Logan Chamberlain taking it down
yeah. Undefeated all day.
over his Texas companion,
Yeah,
Gavin Cano. Um, yeah, man, he threw well, threw real well. So it
yeah,
was I was glad to see him win. Oh, excuse me. We got the privilege of meeting him in Trier at the
yeah.
European Championships and the World Cup, and he's a real nice kid. And
But
well,
both to the jersey swap with him. Well, I think yours was a hoodie swap, wasn't it?
yeah, actually, it was for sure.
And then I swapped T-shirts for my Team UK jersey.
Yeah, but he's just a real
Yeah,
good
good
kid.
dude.
He was for sure. So I was happy to see him win. But I mean, again, I can't remember who was in the final four. Logan and Gavin.
So Gavin won bracket A over Josh Quinn.
Yeah,
Derek Holland beat Trzynski.
yeah, that was a really good match too.
Yeah. Logan beat Jamie Graham. And Alex Rawls beat Zach Aitken.
Yeah,
And then the semis were Logan beat Derek and Gavin beat Alex Rawls. And then Logan just smoked Gavin in the final. Didn't give up
yeah,
a point.
yeah. It wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. But yeah, so that was the ACL weekend, and in a couple weeks
Yeah.
we'll go to Open number 11 up in Michigan.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on that, of course. Um, Hopefully, be rooting for some of the guys that you know we've had the privilege of meeting, because that's always a little bit funner
Yeah.
to root for the people that you know and have talked to and played against or played with. So yeah, which we have been fortunate enough to meet a few of them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that continuing. And then we got to meet some new people this weekend from that
Yeah.
other
Oh,
organization,
yeah.
you know, the other organization, the ACO. So I mean, that's as good an opportunity now to talk about that as any.
Yeah.
So we went to the ACO Europe Major this weekend, um, and let me tell you, man, it was a good time. It was a good time, and the few Americans that came over to play were super good people,
Yeah.
really good people, a lot of fun, always up for a laugh, always up for a chat. Um, yeah, it was a good time.
So started out with the doubles, didn't we?
Yep, doubles on Saturday morning,
So
and oh, Kim Jackson, or formerly Kim Dice, and her husband Chad Jackson took it down
yeah.
without doubt. They just played. They played great all day. Now, me and Liam, we had a really good day too. We lost to them. Uh, we lost to them probably around the quarterfinal. Like I think when we got into the main bracket, we won one, and then we had to play them, I believe, um, and then lost to them, and then had to kind of battle back through the losers bracket to then
Yeah.
beat them again in the final. Of course, we would have had to double dip them, which was going to be a next to impossible task. It just was. Um, you know, Neither one of them missed very many shots, and you got to be on it. And I'm definitely not at that caliber yet. Liam hung with Kim as long as he could,
Yeah.
but I tried to. I did hang with Chad for a while, but then as the game went on, man, it kind of it got away from me. I say
Yeah.
for a while, man. It wasn't like we played a ton of rounds, but I tried.
Yeah.
I'm happy with second. Um, Unfortunately, for whatever reason, no trophies for second place.
Yeah.
I don't get it,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. I still know I did it. I'd like to have a trophy to show that I did it, but
You'll get some coin in your bank account for it, though.
yeah, but I can't show off the coin. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was kind of disappointed with not getting a trophy for it, and it's not to take anything away from the tier 2 or tier 3 winners, but when I just find it odd that they're getting trophies, and the person that made it to the finals in the tier
It's a
1,
handshake, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a weird one, but you know, is what it is, and I mean,
Yeah.
I still wouldn't change it. Shoot, I'll take second place over a tier 2 or tier 3 trophy every day.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
if I got to be anywhere, I'd rather be in the final with the tier 1.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, like for me and Ian, like we got into tier 1, but unfortunately we ended up finishing 9th in tier 1, but we made it to tier 1. So
yep, and won a game or two.
I'd rather make it to tier 1 and unfortunately not finish high up than be in one of the lower tiers, because it shows that we're playing well to make it there. So
100%. But then, and let's not take anything away from John Steins and Craig Smith. They finished 3rd in tier 1.
Yeah.
And man, they played some heck of games too, man. Really did. They played some real good games. And of course, they're always fun to play against anyway, because Craig talks faster than I do and is harder to understand than I am. And then, of course, John, the jack of all trades, he's just always fun to share the boards with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good time. And obviously we're going to talk about Kim and Chad more, but I will say this. I couldn't have picked a better opponents to be in the doubles, because I think, and I mean this, I believe they were just as happy for us being there and getting second as they were for themselves winning.
Yeah.
They congratulated me a number of times and told me how well we played and stuff like that. So that was really nice to hear. And it was, that's that kind of stuff that makes you want to come back and play, and what the game is all about.
Yeah, definitely.
So then we, later in the day, we get on to the blind draw.
Well, you have the co-ed in between.
Oh, we did have co-ed in between.
Yeah. You got to play. I didn't.
I forgot to write down the co-ed.
Yeah. Get the violin out. I didn't get to play.
I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, Chandra. Dang it. So
need to thank Ian for that idea, actually, because
for sure.
He said to me about, like, ask Chandler and Kelsey if they got partners. So we went over.
Kelsey
was partnered up with Frank, and then Chandler was free. So you partnered up and you got to 3rd.
Yeah. I didn't mean to forget it. I don't know why I forgot it. You would think I wouldn't. I'm not used to going to the podium, so I don't know why I forgot it. But we ran into Chandra played great, and I will praise her for that. I needed to make up points. We ended up losing in the loser bracket final to Kelsey and Frank, and I struggled to find the hole. Found the board just fine. Struggled to find the hole, and I kind of cost us that, because it wasn't that we know Chandler could beat Kelsey, but we knew that side of the board was going to be a tough matchup, and it was kind of one of those, let's just keep pace. And I needed to score some points on Frank, and I missed a couple shots I probably should have hit that could have changed the outcome of that game, but we ended up losing it, so we finished 3rd. Frank and Kelsey went on to get beat in the finals by Kim and Chad, of course.
Yeah.
I said of course, but I'm just saying of course because it's Kim and Chad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chandra played great, and I'm really thankful that she didn't know me from nothing. And she was like, yeah, of course, yeah, let's play. And so it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Then the blind draw.
Yeah, now we can get on the blind draw.
This is the one you want to speak about.
I'm a little excited about it for sure. So, I'm not gonna lie to you. That blind draw, they drew it 3 times. Now,
I was happy with the first draw.
so was I.
To a point.
But you guys out there in listener land, they drew it 3 times because the first 2 times, Kim and Chad got partnered up. So what they were trying to do was break them up so that I think just to kind of make it a little more even for everybody. And to get them playing with someone else other than just them. So the first round of draws, we drew each other.
Yeah.
I was perfectly okay with that, man.
Yeah, I was happy with that.
I would have played it. I think we could have still done very well.
I think we'd have made a nice little run. But looking at the teams that were put together in that first one, I think podium was on the table.
I agree.
Especially with how you were throwing on the Saturday.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But don't take anything away from yourself. You had some good throws and some good matches on Saturday as well. So then the second go around, I get teamed up with Daniel Lilly. Again, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
I again believe we could have podiumed.
I don't remember who I drew the second time.
But then, on the third time, I got lucky enough to partner up with Kim.
Yeah.
And man, I was excited.
Yeah.
But she did tell me, she said that actually made her more excited too, because of how like enthusiastic and pumped up I was. She's like, that made me pumped up and like ready to play and ready to go.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun doing it. And, we got beat by Allie and Liam.
Yeah.
So we did have to come back through the losers bracket. Now, so we get Allie and Liam sitting king seat. We battle back through the losers bracket. Now we got to double dip them.
Yeah.
And in the first match, Liam just talking smack about living rent free in my head. All right, bud. Now, he was he wasn't far off from it if he wasn't just completely right, because the last leg, the last down, we were actually winning. And I gave up a 2-12. I gave up a 12 on 2. For whatever reason, man, I just hit both sides. I side railed both sides of the board, left and right. And I felt terrible. I felt so bad. And Kim was like, you don't worry about that. We're coming back. We'll come back. So she kept my head up on that one. But I felt terrible about it. So we battled back. And of course, we get to meet them in the finals. And after the first game, man, I dialed in and I threw really well in that first game. And I remember you telling me, hey, tell Liam, start talking. And I was like, man, I'm not saying nothing yet. Not until it's over.
I think it was tell Liam rent's due, I think it was.
After that second game when we won, I looked right at Liam and I said, hey, rent's due. Rent is due. But yeah, so we double dipped them in the finals and won a nice little trophy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty daggone proud about it.
Yeah.
Proud of it. I'll be hanging it up on the old wall this week.
Yeah.
To go with my swap trophy from that other organization, the ACL. Yeah. My best character from season 2, and then of course, I'm just gonna put a little hook for our bragging rights trophy.
Yeah.
That's in my cornhole bag. I have to grab it out, so I can't show it off right now. But And then in the blind draw though, coming in third though was Charlie and Frank Gears. And again, they threw really well. But we all know, man, Charlie's a machine. And Charlie Lomax can throw. So that was no surprise.
And going down to 5th.
What?
And then going as far as 5th. Me and the nicest man in Cornwall, John Wishart.
Yep.
We had a nice little run. Like we managed. We even come up against Dan and John Stein, which when the draw was made, that looked like that'd be one of them teams that you'd have put down as a podium, and
Yeah.
we managed to come out on top on that one. So that was a nice little scalp for us both. Since that, other than the odd club night, I've not really been able to get a win over Dan since season 1
Yeah.
of UKCL. So it was nice.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
no. It was
And then
good. It was good.
I think
Yeah.
it was Chad and Maccas who beat us, knocked us out. I mean, I was doing the best I could my end, but unfortunately, I think Chad was thrown in the mid-10s against John, so I wasn't able to make up the difference enough my end of the board. But
It's tough
still
to
a
do,
good game.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was a good game. And then we get on to singles on Sunday morning, and it was different because I do play a lot of ACL events where we always for Europe. Now I know in the States singles is always on a Sunday, but in Europe it's typically singles on a Saturday, doubles on a Sunday. Which my opinion, this is just Josh's opinion. I think that is kind of a big difference because when you're playing doubles, you only got to throw every other time. In singles, you're back and forth. So playing singles on a Saturday where you haven't been throwing 1,000 bags and your arm ain't as sore, it's different coming into a Sunday and having to throw all of your singles. So I'm not making excuses. I did struggle a little bit with some arm fatigue, um, and in general, just I don't know. I just kind of struggled to get that same consistency I had on Saturday. Um, but I was able to make it into tier one. Um, I beat Nick Pettit, Chandra, and I had a couple good wins. Uh, Made it into the tier one, but then unfortunately, man, I ran into Dan Lilly, and I was up on him, and then I gave up three big rounds, and then it was just over. Like we were bag for bag. Um, I had a couple decent rounds, a couple points here and there, so I had to do a little bit of a lead on him, and then I gave up a 5, a 4, and a 6, man, and that's it, Dunskies. But I wasn't terribly disappointed with my performance overall. That game was disappointing, not because of any other reason than giving up big rounds when you know you can't against Dan Lilly. Like you can't give up big rounds. You can
Yeah,
give up a one or two here and there, but you can't give up big rounds because if you do, that seems to be when he gets in that groove.
yeah.
And it's like he's a shark in water, man. He smells blood. He's like, okay, this is my time. I'm just going to run bags on you now.
Yeah.
So
You can't let him have that first bag.
yeah, it's tough. It is tough. He's a good player, man, and yeah, it was. It started off a really good match, but and I think he was coming off a real close match with Babs, and I think that kind of set him up to be like, hey man, I got to get it in gear.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that was about the time the wheels fell off my wagon. And but hey, I'm still all right. I finished ninth, um, so I'm not terribly disappointed. It did show me that or it did make me think like I got I got about a month, and I got to get it in gear. I gotta make a real strong showing at Q4 because I'm on that cusp to try to make that top 16. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. You and me both. I think I'm sitting 13th at the minute. But my goal for Q4s is ain't top 16. It's I want that automatic spot for Team GB.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
So anyway, let, let's
we digress.
let's carry on. So um Kim and Kelsey played a heck of a match in the losers bracket final. And unfortunately for Kelsey, just wasn't her day to beat Kim. But man, it was a good match, and we talked to Kim after that match, and she told, she said that, man, her heart was going because it was just a good match, and Kelsey played great, man. She's out here trying to earn her pro spot too.
Yeah.
And if you're listening out there, Frank, I think you should probably give it to her since she would have been in that top 8 for the Europeans since she's a UK passport holder. And since I can't make it because I'm a US passport holder, just stands to reason that she would make it. But you're the dude. You do you, boo. But that set up a rematch between Kim and Chad in the finals. And Kim was going to have to double dip. And it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, she was looking for that full sweep for the weekend, wasn't she?
She was.
Trying to win everything apart from seniors and juniors.
Yeah. It was just Chad at that point was just throwing lights out. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was throwing with a purpose, and she was able to scrape that first victory out. Real close match, 21-18. But in that second one, he made zero mistakes. Really, I mean, it wasn't a perfect game, but I don't think he threw under a 10.
Yeah.
And at one point he had, I'm pretty sure at one point he had 5 or 6 4-baggers in a row.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think she had a couple 9s in there and a couple 10s, and that just starts to add up, man. And so it ended up being 21-6 in that final match. But it, it was really cool to see because, as Kim told us again later, that emotion of wanting something so bad, but also wanting it for your spouse and your partner in life as well is such a mixed bag of emotions. And she said she told me and you that it was a struggle for a bit, um, emotionally. She said that was probably one of the toughest emotional matches she had played because of that. But man, she killed it.
Yeah.
She smashed, dude. And but Chad was just a bit too much on that moment, Um, then tier 2 singles, Dave Morey coming out on
Yeah.
top, down 17-3 against my club member, and teammate Ollie.
Yeah.
And then they went a bunch more rounds, and Dave just kept his composure and ones and twos, all the
Just
way back.
point you to death.
Yeah, and end up winning it. Um, and then probably in my opinion, and it's nothing against this guy, but this might be one of the biggest surprises for me for the weekend is tier 2 third place was Mark Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And that dude's, I mean, he might give old John a run for the money for the nicest dude around because Mark is always friendly. He's always got something friendly to say. And so I was real happy for him getting a podium finish in tier 2. And then, oh man, we didn't even go over doubles tier 2 and tier 3. We'll have to get back to that.
Yeah.
And then singles for tier 3, our boy Ian.
Yeah.
And not super happy for that.
Yeah.
I always like watching Ian do well, man. And his wife, because we failed to mention, and I apologize, Vicky. She ended up 4th in the women's.
Yeah.
And that was tough. I watched her, that match to that would have gotten her to at least the third place. But it was a tough match, and she played really well. Just wasn't meant to be, man.
I mean, like, fourth's great because them three women that come over,
Yeah,
they were all throwing really well. So Vicky should be really proud of herself with that fourth place finish, and well, we know she is.
yeah, for sure, and she should be. Um, so let's quickly get on doubles for tier 2 and tier 3. So obviously in doubles tier 2, Charlie and Frank ended up, winning tier 2. Dave Morey and Babs ended up getting second, and Nick Pettit and Allie would have been third, but then that drops them down into tier 3, which they ended up winning over Macus and Roy and Vicky and Helly. And there was a little bit of controversy with Vicky and Helly. We won't dive all the way into it. Um, I would have been interested to watch the match and see how it played out, but for whatever reason, the match was forfeited, um, and it pushed Vicky and Helly straight down into tier 3. I didn't get a chance to talk to Dan to understand why that happened. I meant to, and it kind of just slipped my mind with everything going on Sunday. Some other things that happened on Sunday, as we are all aware. Um, I would be interested to know. So, Danny, if you're out there listening and you got comments on it or whatever, man, we'd love to hear. But yeah, it was a weird situation, man, and I don't know if I agree with it or disagree with it because I don't know the whole situation. Um, as it sits, what little information I know, I disagree with it. I don't think any matches should ever be forfeited, considering the whole motto of the game is anybody can play, anybody can win.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
but
you've paid your
nonetheless,
money, so if you've paid, you
yeah,
want
you're
as
paying
many
money.
games as you can for your money.
Yeah, if you're paying money, you're entitled to play every match, 100%. But that did put Vicky and Helly down in third place for doubles, which again, hey man, good on them. They played really well. Um, I do also want to give a shout out to Helen Harkness, man, because her game is coming on tremendously, tremendously. I mean, she took points on me in singles, um, the first couple rounds. Like she was just on it, and she reminded me that I was actually her first competitive match ever back in June, and she didn't. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure in that match, she might have put one on the board the whole time. I don't even know if she actually wanted to play. I think she just came down and John kind of convinced her to play, to be
Yeah.
honest. But man, you can tell she's putting in work and her game is progressing tremendously.
It's good to see that more women playing and them improving.
Absolutely.
The title of best female in the country is gonna start being hotly contested.
Oh, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be so much fun to watch. So then after singles on Sunday, we get into juniors and women's and the seniors. And of course, women's. Again, Kim Jackson mowed it down. Kelsey Banks getting second, and Chandra Hammond getting third, with Vicky coming in fourth. And again, it was some good matches. Um, but to be honest, I don't think anybody was beating Kim other than Chad. Not this
Yeah,
weekend. Um, this weekend she came to play, man. She came to represent, and she did a very
definitely.
good job of that. And then we had juniors where Byron Smith becomes our two-time
Yeah, back to
ACO
back.
Europe Major Juniors champion, and he did it in great fashion. Um, Great kid. Uh, he threw very well, um, and he deserved every bit of it. He took down Austin Pettit in the finals. Um,
Had to double dip him as well.
yeah, Austin
Yeah,
had beat him in the semis, and he had to come back and double dip him, and he turned it on, man, and just played lights out. Um, Austin struggled with some throws and a couple shots that he normally kind of makes or is close to making, and he just kind of he wasn't having his best games. Um, but hey, props to him for getting second place. Uh, but then I got to give a shout out to my girl, man.
Yeah.
My girl from Barry Battles podium in her first ever juniors event, only her second competitive tournament ever. She's only been playing for a few months, and that's Cooper. If you're listening out there, girl, man, congratulations. We are so proud of you. Um, you played a heck of a tournament. You had some really good shots yourself, and sky's the limit. You're only getting
Yeah.
better. Uh, we're
I mean,
counting.
I remember seeing how proud her dad looked just when she got that first win.
Oh,
Like, and for
Yeah,
them to go on and finish third, like, I
Micah
can't
was
imagine how happy he is.
yeah, Micah was ecstatic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was such a good match or group of matches she played, and she threw really well. Um, but yeah, I was super stoked for her. It's not to take anything away from Austin or Byron, but yeah, man, I'm never cheering against anybody, but I got people that I'm going to cheer for because they're in my club.
Yeah.
But then we had uh, two other kids that I want to mention because they played very well as well, having not really ever been around the sport. Um, and that's Abe Tate and Isaac Tate.
Yeah.
Um, they were guests of Chelsea and Chandra, and yeah, they got in there having never really played before or been around
Yeah.
the sport, and gave it a
I
go.
think you borrowed one of them your bags and I borrowed the other my bags.
Yep, for sure. And they both did really well for having
Yeah.
never been around it really to doing it on the grand stage.
Yeah.
They just jumped in, man, without hesitation and was like, "Yep, okay, let's do this." So, congratulations to them as well. And then the seniors. I mean, no offense to you seniors out there, but I don't know if I don't know if it comes as any surprise that John Steins won.
No. No.
Just in my opinion,
Yeah.
and that's nothing against Richard or John Wishart. It isn't. I just I think John's had his mind set on this for a while, and I don't think it comes as a huge surprise to me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But hey, man, congratulations to Richard Mackus out there for McDonald out there getting that second spot, and of course the nicest man in cornhole, John Wishart, getting the third spot. So I look forward to the next seniors event and them three battling it out some more. And of course, Tony Gavin's old ass, he's coming up close to being in that seniors division. So we'll see him doing it too.
Yeah.
I mean, swear to God, I thought he already was in the seniors division. I keep saying I want to check the birth certificate and the passport, but he claims he isn't. I mean, he looks 105, but I don't know.
He's a hockey player, though, isn't he? So
yeah, and that's the problem.
yeah.
I mean, he's been really hard and put up wet, bro. So yeah, man, a little yeah, it was a good tournament.
Yeah.
Good tournament. Um I was I understand why I can't make the ACO Pro as a US citizen living in the UK. It wouldn't necessarily be fair to other US citizens that are having to chase it in the
Yeah.
States. So I do understand that. However, um, I'm not just here because of the military. I'm not just here because I wanted, for a little bit. Like I'm here permanently, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm here on a permanent visa. So I don't know. And that's what I say. Like, if I can't earn it because I'm a U.S. citizen, why can't Kelsey earn it as a UK citizen?
Yeah.
Um, I will say though, I didn't realize Kelsey was from the Manchester area, and so I started talking to her, and I was like, "What in the hell is going on?" She had to explain to me her whole situation because I thought, man, because she's like, "No, I'm from Utah," and I was like, "That's the weirdest daggum Utah accent I've ever heard in my life. Something's going on."
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, no. So I'm English. I grew up here. I moved to Utah, late in my teens and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense." Man, it was, but yeah, she was a good laugh. She was funny and fun to be around. So hopefully, they enjoyed their trip, and hopefully we'll see them back over here sometime. I was told though that Frank did tell me if uh if I make the trip, since we were the best Europe doubles team, if I make the trip for Worlds in Tulsa in July, he'd pay for my entry into Worlds. So, and I'm from Oklahoma, so maybe I don't have any. I don't have any of that other organization's events on the docket for that weekend, so I might.
Why not?
I mean, it'd be nice to get the free plane ticket that was coming with, being the top European player of singles, because that's the most expensive part. But we'll see. Maybe I'll try to take a military hop, try to fly for free or something. So yeah, what do we got coming up, man? Unless what
Uh,
else you got? What do you want to talk about for the ACO event this weekend?
well, I think we've covered it, really. I mean, well, one thing I would like to say is that, like, I would like more games. I know how they do it to reward their pros and but how they do the brackets and that. But for what we pay, I like the rounders format. I like
Because you're guaranteed
you
6
get
matches.
yeah, I like getting more bang for me buck.
Sure.
All right,
Now,
I'm only getting the 4 games because meaning we in the tier one we don't know quite how the seeding worked because we were undefeated in the pools play, but we had to play the prelim to get to the next stage. There was only one prelim game. Unfortunately, we lost that, and then we lost our next game, and then we were out. So I would have liked to get more games for me money. But
sure. Yeah, because you were on that cusp where if you would have won one, or if you'd have lost one in the pool play, you would have been down in tier 2 and
yeah,
gotten more games than you did because you made
yeah,
tier 1. Yeah, it's an odd concept. And I think we're struggling to understand it because we've done more ACL events and kind of
it's not a
understand they
format
work.
I've seen before. That I
Right.
think that's what it is. So I'm not used to it.
And
And of course,
that probably works when you got a couple hundred
yeah,
players. That format probably does get you quite a few games.
yeah,
Might actually probably get you more games
yeah,
than you would with doing just rounders because from the way I understood it, you lose out of that tier 1 and get into tier 2, you kind of start over, win a couple, and then if you lose, then you kind of go down in 3 and then start, you know what I mean? So it just
yeah.
kind of
I mean,
building.
I think even because we were that only prelim game, I think if we'd have lost that as we did, I think it'd have been fairer for us to just throw us into tier 2 then.
Yeah,
So we get them more games. And then I generally believe how meaning we're playing on the day, we'd have made a good run at that. And we might have
sure.
been coming home with a trophy. Well, Ian would have been going home with 2, actually. But
Yeah.
as it was,
No,
we
for sure.
lost our first game. And then we come up against the girls, Chandler and Kelsey. We fought hard. We brought it back. We had bags to win it. But unfortunately, couldn't get the bags in the hole. And then they eventually come out as winners and dumped us out of the tournament.
Yeah. But I mean, I, I'm like after having played in this event because we don't talk a ton about ACO because we don't know a lot of the ACO players and it just
Yeah,
I don't know why. But as me and you talked about earlier, we're going to start really paying more attention to ACO as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to kind of learn as we go.
Especially now that we now know Kim and Chad, and like
Kelsey.
last year when I attended the Manchester one, I met Isaac, Caleb Hurt, sorry.
But yeah, I think it'll be fun to learn because it's going to be a learning curve for me and you to figure out how this all works. But I think I'm interested to kind of watch it and see how it plays out and see how they kind of do things. Frank Gears was a great dude, super friendly guy.
Yeah,
had also all sorts of time to talk to us, and
I think he spoke to everybody in the building without question.
He even sat with us and talked to me and you about the podcast and and some stuff like that. So yeah, great guy. I'm really glad that I chose this event over going back to Germany to play in an event because they had an open this weekend as well. They actually had their the Zaxxon Open in Germany. I'll touch on it really quick because I did look up winners. So in singles, Silke Bits took down singles over Chris Barath again. She threw like 10.5 like in the finals. I mean, she was smashing, dude. Doubles, it was Chris Barath and Gavin Clark taking it down over Renee Schindler and Zina Box. As we both know, those two players, or those German players right there, are really good. So that's a good win for Chris and Gavin. And then in the swap, our boy Thomas Hofsty from the Netherlands, him and his partner Stefan Gent took down Kirk Lutz and Stefan Beck. So that was a good win for them. So I'm interested to see in a month when we go to the Bitburg Open, the ACL German Open in Bitburg, how I'd imagine them dudes are going to be throwing on points. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I'm with that being said, like I said, man, I'm really glad we went to the ACO event.
Yeah.
My first time ever playing an ACO event, so it was fun to to podium 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a good time, man. And I'll tell you out there, man. Me and Kim talked about it a bit, and a lot of people got this attitude of how the ACL is the big leagues and the ACO is the minors. It's really not, man. It's really not, because I'd happily put up Chad or Kim against any one of the pros out there. Yeah. I'd put that ACL women's division and be like, you know what? She's gonna give everybody a run for her money.
Yeah. But we've seen it in previous seasons of ACL. Caleb Hurts played in the Opens and he's got to bracket finals.
Yeah.
And then because he's with the organisation, the ACL commentators have been referring to him as rookie or amateur or whatever. And I'm watching, I'm thinking, this dude's far from rookie or amateur. He's like, he's lighting these guys up.
Yeah, but a lot of these young guys, and I mean the commentators know, but like a lot of these guys, trying to remember back to when Matt Guy was, what, I think he was a 4-time King Cornhole champion. He was ACL before he ever went ACL. So was Frank Modlin and a bunch of them guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I ain't got a bad word to say against either organization, to be perfectly honest. I ain't a pro.
We just want to.
I want to throw bags, and I'll play in any organization that'll throw a tournament, and I can make it too.
Yeah.
So
throw bags, drink beer, have a good time.
For sure, man. For sure. So what else we got, man? Kirkcaldy, they had their practice tonight. It's on a Monday night, guys. We record on a Monday, so we don't get to announce it in advance. So take this as an advance notice. Next Monday, Kirkcaldy throwing bags. Berry Baggers tomorrow night. Ashby tomorrow night. Solon on Thursday.
Solon's a Sunday.
Sunday.
Featherstone Flies is the Wednesday.
Featherstone on a Wednesday.
Newcastle's the Thursday.
I would imagine Manchester's this Friday if they were a week
I've
ago.
not heard anything yet,
Okay.
but Coventry does a Friday. No one
Coventry
does a Saturday. Solent we just said Sunday, and also Sunday.
Whitley Bay.
Yeah,
Whitley
we're
Bay.
there again.
Our
Yeah,
girl Charlotte
yeah,
out there doing good things in the cornhole world.
yeah.
Charlotte, I sported your socks on Sunday for singles. I apologize for not getting a podium with your socks on, but I did wear them. I did try. Thank you. And I got a present for you next time I see you. Qualifier 4, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully.
2 weeks time, we got open number 11 in the ACL.
Yeah.
I'm unsure of the ACO schedule, but I am going to be looking out for it all week so that we can start.
So if there's anything, we'll bring results from that. So
Yep. We'll do our best to.
Yeah.
And then obviously we got Q4 coming up in April. The ACL Signature Series starts in April. All sorts of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Some good cornhole coming up over the next 6 months.
Yeah. So next week, I think we're going to try and get a guest or two on.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Pay attention to the socials. We got some Deca rounds coming out this week.
Yeah.
We're going to try to post. We got a few of them, so we're going to try to post one a day.
Yeah.
And
we've still got one from Switzerland we haven't posted yet, actually.
Oh, yeah. So we got a few coming out. But we want to keep it coming back every day. Also, if you guys are out there, hit like, subscribe to Facebook, IG, YouTube, Spotify. We hope in the near future to start going live when we do this on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I don't know the ins and outs of trying to do that, and then also, so it won't be posted to the socials necessarily, but the link for the YouTube would be for the live. We may give it a test run and do live on Facebook or something first. I don't know, but yeah. So go like and subscribe to our pages, man, and we greatly appreciate it. I know we had some interest for a bit of merch. I know it ain't for everybody, and I'm not trying to push a bunch of merch. I'm not going to turn into a merchandise dealer, but we're hoping by Q4 to have some hats out there, some more koozies. We can do some T-shirts and stuff if anybody's interested. Just hit us up and let us know.
This is one of two though in this colorway.
That
Staying that way.
One or two, and it'll stay that way.
Yeah, just me and
I gave up.
Goran.
Goran's got the other one because I traded him. For good reason though. He was such a gracious host when I was in Slovenia, and hey man, he hooked us up and sported it all weekend in Switzerland. So
yeah, I love to see that. As soon as I seen him walking down them steps to the court he was wearing, I was like, yes.
Yeah, it was cool. So, but anyway, guys, yeah, we're gonna try to get a little bit of merch out there if anybody's interested. Hit us up and let us know. But other than that, man, I don't have anything. You got anything, Graham?
No, just watch this space. Hopefully, got some exciting news coming soon.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully by Monday we'll have some news coming.
Yeah, ready for next episode. Hopefully we can break some nice news.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say for it.
I mean, we're going to save it for next week's pod, or we're going to break it on socials beforehand if we get it ironed out.
It depends. I'll let you know off. I'll let you know off
the record. Yeah.
So here's the deal. I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right. In the meantime, just board it.
Yeah.
I'm Joe.
I'm Graham. Remember, just board it.
Just board it. Until next time, guys.
Bye.
See you guys.
Peace.
Peace.